Hey, now we're live. Welcome everybody to well, I'm going to call this a special episode of Sweetcast because it's Saturday night, normally not streaming Saturday night, and we've got Art Thibert. Am I saying your name right?
Oh yeah, you are saying it very correct, my friend.
Okay,
And you
good.
are Clint Stoker.
Stoker, yeah, very good. Some
Like
people have
the Bram Stoker.
exactly great. I want to draw write a Dracula book just so I can call it, Stoker's Dracula. It just feels like it needs to happen. So
I think it'd be hilarious if it said Clint Stoker's
yeah,
Dracula.
Clint Stoker's Dracula. I think it'd be fun. I'm not super into vampires, but it feels like I need to be. I don't know. It feels important. So
Yeah, the name implies it. Yes.
yeah, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Carl O'Rowe in the chat. Hello, Amateur Anth. Welcome. We'll probably get. We'll see. Some more people will stream in here. Looks like we got 7 so far. Don't forget to thumbs up. Let's see. Eskimo Phono says Sourcast. Hello, Eskimo Phono. Great to see you. Yeah, I know that it plays an ad at the beginning, so it sounds like people are in. We'll let them get in. Before we get in too far, though, I think what we'll do is jump back and forth to your campaign just so we can see it. So we might as well see it right now. Chrono Mechanics.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this. This is one like I've seen it around, but I don't. It's one of those ones like I've been meaning to get into and look at it. Give me the pitch for this.
Okay, the pitch is, in a nutshell, they are time repairmen. So they do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. So they are a team 9.2 of Sector 7. They are the most elite team to ever turn a wrench, and they work for a company called Chrono Incorporated. So it's kind of the mundane meets the super fantastic, right? It's their pain in the ass job, but they're basically fixing time. And so time in this idea, in this concept, is a big machine. It's a huge cosmic clockwork machine that regulates and keeps track of all time and timelines. So it's as huge as the cosmos itself. So you can imagine how huge this machine is. So it takes several teams of repair men to go out and fix this big machine. So one of the fun ideas is it is the mundane meets the super fantastic. So these guys just treat it like, it's a pain in the ass. They got to commute into work. They bring their coffee. They have to battle the time stream, which is kind of like a freeway or, an expressway. So there's a lot of traffic on it, so there's several things that can happen along the way. There's accidents, just like normal things, but it's all like cosmic and huge, And so then what happens if the machine doesn't get fixed on time or in a timely fashion? There's all kinds of malfunctions that can happen. So the machine can go kaflooey. That's what we say, and that's a technical term. So when the machine malfunctions, timelines can get jumbled. They can kind of overlap and intermingle, and certain timelines can be erased from time altogether. So there's a lot of responsibility with fixing the machine. And sometimes it's a challenge just to get to the machine, which is the work site itself. And so that's kind of the big concept.
Nice.
In a nutshell, I guess.
This is great. Let's see. Is this all you? No, you've got a creative team put together. So Pamela Thibert, is that any relation there?
Absolutely. Yeah, she's my wife and co-partner on most of these projects. Either
Cool.
She's co-writing with me or she's working as an editor.
Very cool. And then Narwhal, that's awesome. He's a great color. He's a great artist, but his colors are definitely great. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's knocking it out of the park on this book. There's 5 preview pages on the campaign at this point, and I'm going to put some more up. Actually, today I was finding out the page, figuring out which pages and stuff like that, and compiling them together. So I will be putting more of the Chrono pages up, and
Cool.
so people get to see more of Narwhal's work as well.
Love it. That's nice. So this is let's see, 60 plus page. No, it contains 48 pages. My bad. It could reach 60 plus, but we just need more backers for that to happen. So I'm going to post the link, and then if moderators are here, if you're here, Wrenches, let's do the good work, and let's get Chrono Mechanics is already funded, so you're going to get your book. But yeah, let's get this number pumped up a little bit more. I posted that in the chat. Awesome. We'll come back and look at this for sure. I want to take a look at the chat real quick. Scotty Richard Studios says, I started animating Comicsgate show to promote Comicsgate on my channel. Oh, that's cool. I want to see animated. Scotty Richard Studio. That's all right. I will check that out for sure. Let's see. Aaron Olson's here. Hello. Sweet Art Thibert cast. Yeah, there you go. Ted Lehman, welcome. Ted's great. He did a piece for me that ended up being, he called it fan art, but it was amazing. So it's the trading card that I've been packing up and shipping out all day today.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, got my books in, physical books. My house smells like, I don't know, a print shop or something. It's pretty amazing. And then I got one of these. It's like a misprint. Look at the title. It's missing the words, the black words. So weird.
That's weird. Yeah. So there only one?
Yeah, see that? So far, just one. I haven't opened up all the boxes yet, but yeah, just one.
Well, you know what? The misprints sometimes are very, very collectible. So you might be sitting on a gold mine right there.
I know. I'm going to hang on to this for a minute, but yeah, I did want to show that off. I think what happened was, have you ever done a foil stamping when you've done any printing or anything?
Personally, I haven't done that, but I've worked on books for Marvel and DC that have had the foil stamp.
Yeah, they this has a foil stamp, but it's black, and so it just looks black. It just looks really, really black. And I think what happened is they just didn't stamp this one. It got passed, but I don't know, kind of cool. So yeah, I'm gonna hang on to that for a little while. I don't know. So far though, all the other books have been great. So there's still a lot of boxes to open though. It's insane. Now you were wrapping up your other campaign. Is it Black and White? Am I getting that one right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you all finished with that one?
Yeah, the book has been done for months now, and it's been at the printers. We had some delays, so you guys need to know that sometimes this is not a perfect, like printers will say, oh, we'll have the book to you on this date. And then all of China takes a week off. And then there's all these other delays and stuff that happen. And so we really were planning on having the book in-house and going into full-on fulfillment before Chrono launched. But they ended up overlapping. And so now we do have our books and we are in fulfillment. I think we've been shipping out for the last 2 or 3 weeks now on the Black and White books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm getting baptism by fire here now. It's been a lot of work. we were working, I counted like 9 hours worth of work so far, and I'm about a third of the way done through the books. It's insane. And I haven't even, we still had some problems with the shipping labels, and I don't know, it's just all these little things that come up. So it's going to be, I don't know, it's intense.
Is this your first comic book?
This is, yeah. I've published a couple novels before, but it's not even close to anything like this. So it's really exciting, also extremely stressful, I'm realizing. So I'm going to take some time off, try to get it done before Thanksgiving, and then I just need to decompress. So
there's part of it, like for me, the hard work, it comes with the job, but it's like there's an emotional drain that happens as well when you run these campaigns, because it's this constant up and down where you're like, oh, we got a bunch of backers here, and then you have like a dry spell, and then you have more backers. So it's this constant back and forth where you're up 1 minute and then you're down the next.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And I've never published traditionally, so I don't know what to compare it to, but you have, is there, how does it compare? What would you say? Is there, what's the draw to crowdfunding versus just having a publisher take care of everything?
Well, the publishing aspect is, you're just responsible for the one thing. So you either pencil or ink, or sometimes both, or if you're a writer, So that's really all you have to worry about. But when you're crowdfunding, you're doing everything, so you're the art director, you're the editor, you're the writer, you're the penciler, inker, storyteller, creator, and then there's the administrative stuff that you take care of day to day, emails, making sure your team is on track, talking with the printers, all these things. I don't think there's anything that can get you ready for this. Like you said, it's baptism by fire. The only way you can learn is you get thrown into the deep end, and you just have to, tread water until you get it down.
Yeah. It's a weird thing too, is because there's been so many people that have done it, even specifically for comics, but there's still all these little things that you can't, people are really helpful in Comicsgate, especially to help you, like, oh, this is what I learned about shipping. Here's a little tip here, a little tip there. But I don't know, it just seems like I've run into so many little special circumstances. And like with shipping today, I shipped out the original artwork for the cover. And so like I want to make sure it was packed up really well, and it was shipping to the UK. And I want a tracking number, and I want it to be safe, but I was just blown away at how expensive that was to ship. So I'm like, this is going to kill me. But
you're
a better idea now.
Yeah, you're at that part of that is an eye-opening experience, because you could ship the same country and there'll be several different shipping charges. Like say Australia, there might be 3 different shipping charges, so you can't even gauge just a single country or territory. It gets crazy, and that's why, like, especially the foreign shipping, you can really take a bath on that if you're not careful.
I'm nervous right now. Like I'm seriously stressed out about it. So I had to go price some of the domestic ones to see, and like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but we'll see how it ends up. I don't think I charged enough for shipping overall. So I don't know. There's nothing I can do now, but we'll just push ahead. Got to get it done.
Well, the thing is, I remember trying to come up with shipping, because I've done 2 Kickstarters, and then this is my second Indiegogo. So there's kind of this moral like battle that goes on, because you can't really charge for the actual shipping price, because there's absolutely no way you could know what that shipping charge is going to be. So for me, I used to just always go low, because I didn't want to kind of pass on, like, you know what I mean? Like have somebody pay more money for something that they weren't getting. And then I remember I'm not going to name names, but this guy's a super sweet guy, and he does Kickstarters all the time. And he told me, and when he said it, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. He said, you have to overcharge for the shipping. And then what happens is that it kind of balances out in the long run, as far as you or me, the person that's shipping the product. And that's just kind of the reality of the situation, until Indiegogo or, Kickstarter creates a system where we could actually kind of, you know what I mean? Like it goes to this region, and then they're charged that amount, that exact amount. And then that gets billed into their purchase. Yeah. This is the best we can do.
Right. Yeah. It's tough. And it's like, I don't know. You want to be good and make everyone happy, but just the logistics and the cost of moving that many books all over the whole world is nuts. So it's really starting to hit me, but and I think it'll be fine. It'll work out, but I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. But on the upside, I mean, I'm really flattered when you get a pledge, or somebody, picks up one of your books, and they're from a region of the world that you've never even heard of. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you realize, like, you're hitting a world market, man. Like
right
now you could be talking to who knows who could be tuning into your show right now, Clint. So yeah. I find that super cool. That we're actually marketing and selling to a world, marketplace. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. That's the weird thing is, like, I was sitting there. My father-in-law came by to help us pack everything up. He said, "How does this feel? Because I know you've published books before, but this is your first comic. Does it still feel the same way? Like it does, but it kind of, in a way, it feels, I don't know, more real, because there's before it was mainly digital, like ebooks that people were buying, and so, like that's nice, people are reading it, but it's just so disposable to people, they don't really care that much. With this, it's like it's a comic, but it's also a collector's item, and you want it to be in good condition, you want people to have the best experience with it, and so it's just a new kind of arena, which is awesome. I love it. But yeah, it's such an interesting thing to be doing, just the whole self-publishing thing. I got a couple of super chats here. Eddie Winkler says, Mr. Thibert, I have the original black and white series and I missed out on the new book. When the next one comes out, will there be a second print?
Well, I'm talking right now with my wife, and I believe probably in January, February, March, we're going to do a black and white kind of like standard edition. So we're going to go back to print for the first black and white volume 1, and we're going to do it in newsprint. So we're going to kind of do a standard edition, and then we may have a couple tiers that have the original volume 1, with the square bound, all the bells and whistles, and the premium edition that we're going to have as well. So hopefully Eddie can wait until, early next year.
Nice. Yeah. Look for that, Eddie, for sure. And thank you for that $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Here's one more from Pixel Trader. He says, for $2, thank you very much, Pixel. He says, I see art. I click. Hi, fellas. Pixel, it's always great to see you in the chat.
How are you, Pixel? Oh, can I back up for a minute, Clint?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we may be having some fun with a Black Friday blowout on the Chrono Mechanics Indiegogo page. So we may be, I'm not saying we're going to, but there may be some black and white volume 2 original editions, like the premium editions, that we'll be offering in that blowout for that one day. So
nice.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. Eddie, hear that? There's some hope anyway. Cross your fingers.
Yeah. You won't have to wait till next year, but you got to jump in quick because they're going to be very, very limited.
Yeah. Nice. So with the whole YouTube thing, which has been, for me, so crucial for crowdfunding comics, which is interesting. It's a totally different medium, video. There's something about it that just works for people, and it helps just support a whole bunch of comics creators and comics fans hanging out together virtually. I don't know, how have you seen YouTube play a role in your own campaigns? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes. It's just my name, Art Thibert. And I just got 1,900. So I turned over 1,900. So I'm very proud, because I think that's 1 year of work. And I must say it's a lot of trial and error and failing publicly, which I'm not used to doing. So
that happens.
Yeah.
Man, once I think I have it figured out, I screw up major, which is the good thing and the bad thing about the comment section, because they will tell you when you mess up. So
the feedback is immediate. Yeah,
instant feedback. Yep, and you'll get the thumbs down and all the stuff. So yeah, it is helpful. You're really in touch to everybody else. Garrick 777, thank you very much for $4.99. Says, hey guys, looking forward to all of your books. I backed everything so far. The CG self-published books have been awesome. Congrats to everyone. Awesome. Yeah, there are a lot of great books, and I'm seeing a lot of people gearing up for fulfillment and things. So I'm expecting a ton of books to be coming, little gift packages dropping off every so often over the next few months.
Yes, and thank you, Garrick, for picking up Chrono Mechanics in black and white. That's very cool.
All right. Speaking of, let's take a look at it again.
Yes.
Chrono Mechanics. This is a really interesting idea for a book. How on earth? So they're basically they're working on time, or this thing that can control time. I got that right?
Yes. Yeah. Just think of it as kind of like an old clockwork timepiece, but it's kind of as big as the galaxy itself. So it's a big engine that basically turns all these clockwork pieces, so it's a very cosmic, a huge kind of idea. I mean, I don't even think, to be honest, that I've been able to wrap my head around how massive this machine is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's cosmos and there's places that we still haven't even traveled yet. So in this reality, there's all kinds of different universes and stuff like that. One of the characters is an alien from another another galaxy, and his name is Zin, and he's one of the mechanics here. I think he's on the next page. If you keep scrolling, that's the guy right there. He's the little squid guy. So one of the ideas is that you have your core self, which is the squid, which is Zin. And then what they do is when they suit up and they get ready for work, they kind of power up and they become, it's kind of like a Shazam, idea where they transform into these chronomechanics characters or form. And the way we explain it in the story is that the reason they all power up is they have to be a uniform size, and they have to have a uniform strength and stamina, because this machine is massive, and there are life and death consequences to fixing this machine. It's risky. Like if you look at that first page right there, there's a guy. That one. There's a guy that's dead in the background there. And he's one of the mechanics. And so there was the ship crashed. So the idea here in this page is this guy he's basically a 20th century slacker. He's a rock star from the 70s. And so he gets recruited to take that one mechanic's place. And so the fun aspect of the story is this guy that gets brought into the story. It's kind of like an Alice in Wonderland idea, or Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, that he has no idea like where he's at. He's in a world that he doesn't understand, and to top it off, he has no work ethic at all. So these guys are mechanics and they fix things. And he's just like, he looks at work as he refers to work as a 4-letter word. He just, it's not in his vocabulary. His work. Yeah.
The guy with the "Be Cool" tattoo.
Exactly.
Like that. That's awesome.
And I just want to stress, because some people think this is a kid's idea or a kid's concept. It really isn't. It's kind of like a Futurama or Simpsons, where I believe kids can read it, but there's some edgy stuff. So when I say Doug is a 70s rock star, it comes with all the vices. You know what I mean? Like this guy is like sex, drugs, rock and roll. And we show it in the book,
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That is helpful. Yeah. That target market. And then it looks like you're aiming for May for fulfillment. So that'll be quick.
Yeah, we'll probably get it done before that, because between Narwhal, myself, and Render Contender, which is the art team, we're already 2/3 of the way done with the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a really good pace. Nice.
Yeah.
Check it out, everybody. I don't know if we have enough wrenches in the chat or anything, but I'll post the link again. If you're a wrench, feel free to wrench that around. There's the link to Chronomechanics. Please back it right now. You're at 151 backers. I always like to see the backer number. I'm just going to refresh this. We'll see what's going on. Still at 151, but that could change. It should change.
Oh, wait. Do me a favor, Clint, and see those little cogs that are right under the video?
Oh, yeah.
Click on those. They're funny. These are reviews from people throughout time.
Oh, that's right, because they can go through time.
Yeah, so it's a quote from Joan of Arc, and I just like the way we describe like Joan of Arc, teenager and heretic.
Yeah.
And then click on the next one. It's Midas.
Midas, nice. This book is pure gold. No, I touched the damn thing. How does it end, Midas?
Yeah, and then it's like, what does it say? Go back.
Oh,
I should have these memorized, but it's like, what is it? Very rich king, hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. All right, here's the next one. The book is a shocking discovery. Ben Franklin, inventor and avid kite flyer. I like that. T-Bear makes time travel relatively fun. Einstein, smarty pants scientist. I like that.
Yeah. I thought that was really nice of Einstein because he singled me out. So that was really nice. So thank you, Albert.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was very kind of you.
From the past. Very cool. I need to back this one. This looks really good.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Fantastic art too. I mean, that's a kind of a given. Every time I see you post something on Twitter, Amateur Anth wants a wrench. I'll give you one. Every time I see you post art on Twitter, I'm like, man, that's all. You did this one that really I loved. You were doing some Inktober stuff. What was it? I think it was Batwoman. I think it was.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. What's your favorite style? It seems like you can kind of like Chrono Mechanics looks very different than black and white, at least to me. What's kind of your favorite, or you like to switch it up as far as style goes?
Well, I always like the easiest way I could explain it is the rock star David Bowie, where he went through these phases of his career, right? So he's the White Duke, he's Ziggy Stardust, you know, he's these different characters, and so with each one of the characters came a different style of music. So he was able to reinvent himself through the decades and always stay relevant. So I always, you know, I'm kind of a music guy, so I always like that. So I think I modeled kind of my career, my comic book career after David Bowie, and always thought like, I don't want to get pigeonholed into just one thing, you know, because the relevancy, you know, like because styles come and go. Like every decade in comic books kind of has a style that defines that decade, and then it moves on. And you see a lot of comic book artists that have become passe because they never adapted and they never reworked their style for a contemporary audience. So I'm going into my fourth decade. You know, I got 35 years into this industry. So I've always stayed relevant, and I've always stayed, you know, kind of within the top 5, you know, of people in this industry. So I believe it's because of that. So I have always worked in a lot of different styles. And the fun part about like doing crowdfunding and doing these independent projects is I don't have to get an okay from DC. I don't have to get an okay from Marvel. I can just do it. So if there's something I feel like I want to do, I want to explore stylistically, I can just do it. And I think that this is the perfect forum for that. I just hope that, you know, some of these styles aren't too much of a departure that people go, you know, like, who is that? Like, I don't know who that is. Is that, you know, that's Art Thibert? I don't recognize that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's cool. It's one of the things I love about comics is just seeing the different styles that are acceptable. You know what I mean? You can kind of push. I've always been pretty open, I guess, to different art styles in comics. But yeah, it's great art. I dig it. I just backed. So now you got 152 backers.
Oh my gosh, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Good. I want it.
Raw. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Amateur Anth, you now have a wrench too. So feel free to spam the link whenever you like.
Yeah. Spread the graffiti, the Chrono graffiti all through the chat.
Yeah. With it being Saturday night, I didn't know. I popped the link into you know, some of the usual guests, and I don't know if anybody's gonna come or not, but we'll see. We don't need anybody, I guess. That's fine.
Oh, the party. Yeah, we are the party, Clint.
That's right. That's right. So what else are you working on? Is it just comics?
Yeah, I finished up a script, a movie script for Chrono a while back. I was working with Matthew Hillary, and he's done a lot of stuff for Platinum Studios. And Platinum Studios is Scott Rosenberg's company, and they're responsible for Men in Black and Cowboys and Aliens.
Okay.
And so he's not only a really talented writer, but he's also a good friend. And so I finished that up. I'm also working on a novel adaptation of Chrono Mechanics with Kim Vandervoort, who's a novelist. So I'm kind of dabbling into other things as well. I kind of always looked at things as like I'm just a creative person. So I never went like, oh, you're just an inker, or you're just a penciler, or you're just a writer. I just want to do everything, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, that's cool. I wish I could do that. I always like, I think what I need to do is just experiment with I did this a little in the past, but like I'd love to just draw my own book, but you got to have some kind of a level of competence before you'd even, I don't know, can justify spending the time on it. It's one of those things you can't get good at it unless you work on it. So I don't know, it's one of those things. Maybe I should just start drawing a book here and there. It would be fun. It would be awful though.
Yeah, I just think it depends on what your expectations are or what the
Yeah.
concept is. What was the Order of the Stick, or what is the one that is it the Cyanide and Happiness guys? Like they did some kind of crowdfund Kickstarter and made $1 million. Like it doesn't, I don't think it matters like what level of expertise you're at, as long as it connects and resonates with people. You know what I mean? Because that's all that really matters. So
Right.
you could have like a really bare bones style, but it could be incredibly clever. You know what I mean? And people will latch on to it. You never know.
Yeah. Well, the example is always One Punch Man, which I don't know if you've seen have you ever heard or are you familiar with One Punch Man?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It's like the original comic is, I heard it was terrible looking, and so I looked it up and I was, whoa, it is bad. It's really bad. But then, now it's world famous and he's apparently doing well for himself, whoever did the art initially. But
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen like the original Men in Black? Oh my gosh.
yeah.
It's pretty bad. And then, James O'Barr is a friend, the guy who created the Crow. But you look at those early Crow, copies. Oh, there's some bad stuff in there. He got a lot better as the series progressed, but that early stuff is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Not with the art, but even with writing. Like so lately I've been reading Hellboy. And I hadn't read Hellboy before. People give me a hard time about this. I can't read everything. But yeah, I was like, I want to try it. So I started reading it, and the first trade, volume 1, is written by, was it John Bryan, I think. He wrote it, and it's like one style, and then you see Mike Mignola getting in there and starting his writing, and it's different. I still enjoy it, but then you can kind of see how he kind of gets things figured out, and then he's off and away. So it's just really interesting to see the development of creators over time, as well as they learn and they figure out what their groove is. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, the thing that you have to come to terms with, and it took me a while, is that I could put out a book the month before, or the way the old schedules used to work for the mainstreams is that you were 3 months ahead. So by the time, the book that you finished 3 months ago, you're working on, that newest edition. So the one that's on the newsstand is 3 months old already. And especially in your early development years, you're changing from month to month. So sometimes, I would look back and I just go, oh my gosh, like I would cringe at my own work and it's only 2 months old. You know what I mean? And so I kind of learned early on, and this always amazes me that people can do this, but like actors that can watch their own films, or that like musicians that can listen to their own music, or artists that can, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
As soon as I finish it, I just have to let it be. I can't go back on it. And then usually my artwork as well, I don't get attached to it. I kind of just want it gone. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, it's kind of like a weird one night stand. You can't get out of that room quick enough.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not proud of it. It's just that there's just part of me that I just can't look back at it really.
Yeah. It's strange. And that's, I don't know, I've been looking through my book, and it's like, I didn't do the art. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I'm really, really proud of Nacho, my artist. He did such a great job. Damien, the colorist, did so good. And then it's like, I don't really want to read it. My son wanted me to read it to him, so I did. But it's weird, because I've been over that script so many times and just measured every little centimeter of everything, that it's, I don't know. I can't enjoy it just for the fact of enjoying it. I've got to enjoy somebody else's. So
yeah, I can't even, like, the YouTube shows, once they're up, I never look back at them. I never ever do, because I think I'm afraid that I'll become too self-conscious. I'll be too like weirdly self-aware of the way I talk or my mannerisms, and then I'll get all in my head, and then you know what I mean. I'll be thinking too much and not reacting. So I've kind of learned that as well. So I believe that's why I don't really look back.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny because with comics, it used to be seen as such a low art form. Do you know what I mean? Like, just so disposable. And then now, like how things are in indie comics anyway, you want to just make this the best thing you possibly can. But YouTube, on the other hand, is a very low form of art, or that's the way I treat it anyway. You're pumping it out. I'm doing a video a day and just trying to get stuff out and inform people essentially, but you have to be so forgiving of just your mannerisms, all sorts of things. You just have to be forgiving and move on, and just we'll see what people think.
Yeah, it was so weird where like when I first started a year ago on YouTube, I would do a stream or be on somebody's show or whatever, and then all that night I would just agonize, like I'd go over everything that was said, and then oh my gosh, did I really say that? And so I'd get all in my head, and so then I started just getting to the point where I told myself, you are going to say something stupid. You are going to do something dumb. It's just going to happen. So you just need to learn, like you said, just move with it, move on, and just always keep moving forward with it, because you will do something dumb. You know what I mean?
Do you ever read the chat when you're like in Ethan's stream, like a big stream? Do you read it as you're there, or do you totally ignore it?
I used to read it a lot, and then I kind of learned not to do too much of it, because I believe it was one of my early hangouts with Ethan, and I do appreciate him sharing his channel and giving me all the bumps and stuff and helping out with my books. But in the chat, it started like showing up like F art, like it was F space art, and I'm probably giving somebody a heads up to do it again, but I was like,
F's in the chat. Yeah.
What the hell is this? You just see a wall of F arts, and I'm like, is that the middle finger like F art, or is it like fart? Like I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. And so I got all crazy. Like I didn't react to it, but in my head I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
No. But it gets I don't know, it's funny for me anyway. It's like at first I would read it all the time and be really like self-conscious, and at some point I'm like, this is not healthy. So I stopped completely. Now I'm back at a stage where I start reading it more, and I have a slightly different perspective. Lately, the past 2 weeks, I've got a little hate group fan club, and it's kind of funny the like insults that come up. But yeah, all you can do is laugh, because it's all you can do. So there you go. But I don't know. Most of the time, my chat, they're pretty nice. We've got 41 people in here right now. So I don't know. There's not enough people to really get super hostile, unless chat. You guys can get hostile if you want. Actually, you can't get hostile unless you back Chrono Mechanics first.
Yeah. So and then you can fling some F arts if you back the book.
You've earned the right.
Bill Nids, he's throwing it out there already.
There you go. Earned the right. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Here's a $2 super chat from Amateur Anth thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. I'm drunk and Epstein didn't kill himself. LOL. All right. Two true statements, I think. There we go.
Amateur Ant is drunk, though. I mean, should we do a breathalyzer?
We'll just have to take his word for it, I guess. Yeah. He says EVS chat goes way fast. Yeah, it does sometimes. It's funny, just some of the random things that pop up. But even when you're watching, sometimes I'll be watching a channel, somebody else's channel, and I'll see my name, and it's like highlighted if it says your name. Like what? I'm like, randomly hanging out and people are talking about me. That's weird.
You know, my favorite thing now is, especially on Ethan's, is to like troll the chat. And then I try to throw one-liners in, but the thing's moving so quick. So the challenge is to try to type really fast and construct the joke and then hit enter, you know what I mean? Before it becomes, non-relevant, before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before it does move so fast, like the relevancy is you have like a brief moment in time,
Right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta land. The timing's everything with comedy. So yeah, getting in the chat at the right time.
Yeah, so I actually like that, and I'm kind of getting good at it now with the timing aspect,
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a whole new thing. Would you ever have thought that you'd be doing YouTube to sell comics?
No, this
So
is
strange.
this is so out of my wheelhouse. Just being so public because 35 years of doing comic books is basically solitude. You have a studio and you might have an assistant or you might share a studio space with somebody, so you have some conversation. But it's pretty much you're isolated from the world, and even when you work for Marvel and DC, you send your pages and you usually don't get any feedback other than your interaction with the editor. So you don't really know how people are taking the work, how they're if they're enjoying it or if they're hating it or whatever. So you're really insulated. The thing I do like about this is that people respond. You know what I mean? Like you do something, they respond. And so you kind of know immediately whether you're connecting or you're not. And it's at times it's nerve-wracking, but it's exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah, and it is. It's really interesting. And even with like the crowdfunding really links into it well, because like it's fun to watch streams and you see the number go up, or there's a cause and effect and you can see it all happen real time. I don't know, it's neat. Even like I think like this misprint cover that I have, or some of the art at auctions, you see the thing on a video somewhere and then it shows up later, and it just adds a new level of intrigue about it that is I don't know, it's a lot of fun, I think.
Well, you have a collector's item on your hands right there, Clint.
That's right. Yeah. I know. I'm like, I'm not going to ship this to anybody because that just seems wrong. But at the same time,
now you got to have an auction on your channel or something for this, like one of a kind collectible.
Yeah, they're rare. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'll have to see if there's any more. There's still a lot more boxes to open up.
Well, in the day, those were collector's items because sometimes like books would ship with like two covers, like for some reason there'd be two stapled on one book, and those things were highly sought after in the 90s. Those were collectible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I saw one. I can't remember what it was. One of these comic collecting YouTube channels, and there was one guy that said he had a 6 cover. It was a key issue too. I don't remember which issue. It had 6 covers on it, which is nuts. Like, how does that happen?
Covers, yeah,
6 covers, and he got it graded, CGC graded. So it's legit. So crazy. Yeah. So with the comics YouTube, do you like to watch YouTube as you're working? I've noticed there's a lot of artists that do that. Is that something that you're into?
Oh my gosh, you know what? I never thought I would be like that interested in YouTube, but actually doing the shows, you start like, like searching other things, how they kind of like, I guess the algorithms suggest other stuff.
Yeah.
And so you end up clicking, and then I just realized everything that you could possibly want entertainment wise is on YouTube. Like even music, I don't even, I have a pretty good sound system hooked to my my computer, so I don't even miss my CDs or listening to the radio or anything like that. I'll just listen to music streaming on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's it's just convenient. So it's not really a surprise to me that YouTube is doing so well for a lot of things. But yeah, this is where even like news, you can get news whenever you want about any kind of little thing, like at all. Even like Star Wars or comics, like everything, there's news. anytime you want it, and different perspectives even that you're used to getting. So man,
Yeah, I love. I don't know if you're like me, but I love some of these guys that break down like movies.
Oh yeah,
And some of them are like writers, like they don't use their real name, but they're actual script writers or they're novelists or whatever. And what is that one guy's name? It's something the drunk something, and he's Australian, or God, I'm gonna try to find out his name. But man, that guy, he talks like, it's a character, so he talks like he's drunk while he's doing the review and the breakdown, but it's so crazy insightful. What is the other one, like half in the bag or something? Those guys, they used to be a lot funnier, but I think some of these guys that review, they get bought out, or like they sell out to some of these these like movie companies or something like that. So the critical drinker, that's it.
critical drinker.
Yeah. I was looking for it. And so you start learning that some of these guys that used to be really, really good and edgy, that like Disney or something like that starts inviting them to premiere parties, and like they start getting these perks and things, and then you start seeing that they start going soft. You know what I mean? Their reviews are a little bit lighter, and they're a little bit more, like they ease up on stuff, and you're like, no, I want that old guy. I want that guy before he sold out. Yeah,
it's almost like if you're gonna, even with comics too, if you're gonna review comics, it's really hard. Like there's so many conflicts of interest that can come up, and that's the problem you see with most comic review sites. Everything has a 9-star review plus, not much gets roasted, which has been the cool thing about Comicsgate, is because you really get some honest opinions. But yeah, there's definitely, I don't know, that they come and put their arm around you, and I don't know, they see the success happening on YouTube, and then they want a piece of it. I've heard of a lot of horror stories of YouTubers that have just lost everything because of companies like that try to co-opt, their ad revenue or something to be sponsors or whatever. I don't know. Kind of some of those problems makes me glad I'm just a small YouTube channel.
Yeah, those are problems for people that are getting hundreds of thousands of subs, and things like that. Yeah, which yeah, I'm not opposed to any of those things. So go sub my channel, please.
Yeah.
But it's more of like I want to build this so I can build other things. You know what I mean? Like I want to build the YouTube channel so I can make more comic books, so I can entertain more people. So it's all kind of related, and it's I guess in a way it's ego driven, but I don't look at it that way. It's more kind of commerce or business driven for me.
Yeah. Do you watch Zach's video? Or he had a video today, I don't know if you saw it, about Brian Pulido and his crowdfunding trajectory. He crunched the numbers. Great video. If you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend it. But it was super interesting because he's talking about the audience, and you think somebody like Brian Pulido, he doesn't have a massive YouTube. I'm gonna have to look it up. Actually, I don't want to say something that's not true, but I don't think he has a very big YouTube channel. I know he has one, but that's not his thing really.
There's a lot of Facebook Live, so weirdly, I think he's mainly Facebook,
and he gets it to work. He does well. Coffin Comics, that's it.
Yeah.
So he's got 1.11 subscribers, 1.11 thousand subscribers, excuse me. So yeah, tiny YouTube channel. This is not where he's getting it, but he's getting Facebook. That's why I'm like, I wish I could harness harness the Facebook and the YouTube and Instagram or whatever, but it seems like it's just so much effort to make the one thing work. I'm sick of Facebook, but I'm happy for him though. He's doing it.
Yeah, and I think he's the perfect storm of staying the course and having something to come out next. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been following him from the very beginning, and Brian's a friend. So each one of the campaigns comes out in a timely fashion. He fulfills in a timely fashion, and then he comes out with another campaign. And so I think now he's up to 4 campaigns a year.
Yeah.
And he just kind of keeps it going. And he's built this persona of kind of like this aging metal guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Lita, rock and roll, that type of thing.
Right.
And he's connecting with a fan base that is uniquely his. And so then the product is tailored right to that fan base. And man, I look at it, I envy the crap out of him because he is so crazy focused, and he knows definitely what his audience wants, so he tailors everything directly to them.
Yeah. Well, and then it's the other thing that was eye-opening, especially looking at that Zach's video today, was the power of the IP. He's got Lady Death, and that's been popular, and it's getting more popular for him. Like as you look at the trend lines, but then he'll try out the other titles that maybe don't do as well, and so it really goes to show that there is something to be said for the titles. And so I don't know. I'm just curious to see as things evolve over the next probably 3 years. I'm going to say it'll be really interesting to see what kind of intellectual property grows out. Like, where's Cyberfrog going to be in 3 years? Where's Chrono Mechanics going to be in 3 years? Like there's so many that you see, just these fledgling IPs that who knows where they could be. And even something like Lady Death, where you're just able to keep people interested and keep doing crowdfunding to me, that's like the dream,
Yeah, it is my dream. And I think what people that are kind of, thinking this is what they want to do, that what you have to realize is that if you stop, it dies. So the only way this really continues is you. So these IPs, all of these things it's you. It's nothing else, because those things like Lady Death doesn't have the ability to speak for herself. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have Marvel or DC or Disney or Warner Brothers behind him. So if Brian all of a sudden stopped doing what he's doing, it would all go away. And for some people, that's really hard to understand, that these things don't really have a life of their own. The life is you. You know what I mean? Like, you're so connected to these IPs, and you're the only voice that these IPs are ever going to have, unless, all of a sudden he, it's like George Lucas and sells, his IP to Disney or something like that, where now a corporation can, expand upon it and keep the IPs alive. But up to that point, it's just him. So he realizes that, he's comfortable with being the spokesperson. He's the Stan Lee. He's the guy that's getting up on the soapbox, and, he's selling his product,
Yeah. He's in tune to what they want to. I mean, I've heard him talk a little bit about, again, trying out different titles, and people are like, just do more Lady Death. He's like, okay, I will. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's cool. He's a good example to look at. He'd be one I'd love to talk to.
He's awesome. Yeah. He understands this stuff. When you talk to him, Clint, bring your notepad, because you're just going to be scribbling down notes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw him on Billy Tucci's stream once. And so it was cool to hear them talk. But yeah, I'm like, I gotta get him. I need to collect some more. I know it sounds, to me, it's like a collection, getting all these comic pros on my channel. It's awesome. It's fun. Like having you on is great. Ethan. I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. I had Kevin Eastman on my channel. That was really cool.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah.
I'm like, we should hang out. But yeah, it was a very formal process to get him on the channel, but he said we should do it again. So I'm just going to assume that means we're best friends.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, you're
basically. Yeah. Very cool. Let's check out where we're at with Chrono Mechanics. I'm going to post the link again, and I do need to sign more books. So what would be the best thing is if people in the chat will give you a few minutes, but I would love to refresh this and see the number move up, because this is a very deserving project for sure. I don't know. Why don't you give us we've got probably a pretty new batch of people in here. Would you mind giving us a pitch on Chrono Mechanics?
I would not. I think it would be awesome. So Chrono Mechanics is my newest Indiegogo campaign, and it is live right now. We have 22 days left. We have 151 backers. We had 150 going in, but then Clint was nice enough to back it. So thank you, Clint.
I want it.
Yes, and these guys do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. So a chrono mechanic is, in essence, a time repairman. So the idea is it's the mundane meets the super fantastic. So these guys, it's just their pain in the ass job. You know, they go out, they repair the big machine, and they get no accolades. There's no fanfare. There's no nothing. A lot of times they're putting their lives on the line to fix the big machine. So when I say big machine, I'm talking about a massive clockwork cosmic machine that is built in the very fabric of, the cosmos itself. So it is massive. And so there's a company called Chrono Inc., I should say, that hires a lot of different teams of chrono mechanics to go out in different sectors to repair this big machine. So this story focuses on Team 9.2 of Sector 7. They are the best of the best repair team ever to turn a wrench for Chrono Inc. And so it's basically about their adventures going out and repairing time. And one of the side effects, if the machine isn't fixed quick enough, is that timelines can merge and all kinds of anomalies can happen. I haven't even got into the time mines. A time mine is like a little fracture in time that you can't see, but if you step on it, it'll blast you like an actual, like mine, like a minefield in wartime. It'll blast you through time, but it's uniquely your time. So you can be passing through lifetimes of seeing yourself, but you're just kind of passing through for all eternity, unless somehow the fates can pull you out of this cycle. So a lot of people either go mad or just die after they step on a time mine. So that idea is in the story, and then time kind of merging is in the story as well. So if the longer the machine goes without being fixed, the longer and the more severe these time anomalies happen. So if the anomalies go so far, they become irreversible. And so what Chrono Incorporated calls this is, what they have a go primal protocol. So if the timelines become so intermingled and so messed up that they cannot be fixed or corrected, they just have to go with this go primal protocol. And the go primal protocol is absolutely hilarious. It's basically a reboot. So they hit a reboot button and time resets back to the primordial ooze. So that's where the name comes from. Yeah, so nice. I think that's a fun idea. So in this storyline, because of all the misadventures and things that happen just to get to the work site, we're getting to the go primal protocol aspects. So it can get pretty dire if these guys don't fix the machine in a quick enough fashion, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to refresh it here. And, for the people not watching live, I know people watch it later in time. Backing it is appreciated. So, nice. Well, Art, it was really cool to talk to you. It's kind of nice to just do a one-on-one and chat. That doesn't happen very often, at least not for me. So I appreciate you coming on the stream. It's been fun.
Hey, no problem. And I think it was probably better, like just, meeting you for the first time, doing a one-on-one as well, because some of those chats get pretty out of control, man. I mean, like the streams, you get so many people on.
Right. Yeah, it can get, it can get that way for sure. We try to be pretty tame around here, but I don't know. Sometimes we step out of line. So appreciate you very much. Chrono Mechanics, the link is also in the description of this video. And if you've already backed Chrono Mechanics, a good thing you can do to help is just share it on social media, talk to people. That's really helpful. Yeah, I think I need to go sign some more books. So I think we'll end it off. But thanks, Art. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Clint. Thanks for having me.
You bet.